Well, good morning, Sherry. So glad to have you. This month is an opportunity for us to do whatever we can to bring an awareness to people about breast cancer. It's quite an issue that has affected many people and many families, many communities. The key reason why we are doing this is to raise awareness so that people know what's happening and just get some insights. And let us start with just who is Sherry?
I'm a hometown Conway girl, grew up here, went to school here, raised a family. I married a man from Rosalia.
Okay.
And we moved back here when the kids started school, so we could go to school. They could go to school here, and so I ended up being a bus driver for a number of years.
Number of years.
Yes. And then I've retired and enjoying it, and just having a good time, enjoying my grandkids and great-grands.
Well, I'm privileged to know your family and your extended family, and I've had the opportunity to be at your house.
Yes.
At least twice now.
Twice.
So, the reason we are here is to talk about your own experience with breast cancer.
Yes.
And I'm assuming the beginning place will be to say, how did this all start? When did you learn about it? Did you already have suspicions or just something like that?
Okay. Well, I had no suspicions, felt good. I was just doing my yearly checkup,
Yes.
and the doctor discovered a growth.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't anything to do with my breast then, but before they could treat any of it, they did a biopsy on that, and they found out it was cancerous. So then they did all these tests, and I kept saying, okay, let's get with it, because they told me it was very small, and I thought, okay, I want to get rid of it right away. And so we did one more test, and this covered at least 2 months, didn't it? And so one more test, and that's when they discovered I had breast cancer. And it had already moved to my lymph node,
Okay.
and we couldn't feel it. The doctors, even after they saw it,
Yeah.
couldn't feel it.
And you were not in pain?
No, I wasn't in pain, didn't have any soreness or anything. So if I hadn't gone for my yearly checkup,
You wouldn't know.
I would never have known.
It may have spread.
They said what was in my breast was a very high, fast-growing one. So it would have spread in another year when I'd had.
Yeah.
So it all turned out good, because it was a very small, but it had grown, so they thought that it'd come from my other cancer. But it ended up being 2 different cancers at one time. So
Sounds to me, from what we have already said, it's very important to go for the annual checkup.
yes,
And test.
very important, and to do your self-checks.
Okay.
That's very, because I didn't feel it yet, and the doctor couldn't feel it,
Yeah.
but they did that one scan where they do, it was a dye,
Yeah.
and they said it lit up then. So, but that isn't a normal one, but being I had the other, they looked for
They look for. Yeah.
others. So
So I think that's the first lesson we have, that annual checkups and
And-
testing and self
exams,
self-exams. I think it's very important.
yes.
We can move on to talk about the the journey through treatment?
The doctors are wonderful. Don't be as scared of going to the doctor. They make it as painless as it's not as, well, it is kind of scary, but it's not anything to be afraid of.
That's right.
Because they have such wonderful medicine that you don't get as sick now. And if you let it go, like if I'd have had this and let it grow a year, they'd have had to treat it much more aggressively.
And
that's where you get more side effects.
Side effects that are problems on their own.
Yes. So early detection is your best prevention. But it took, I can't remember if I had 26 or 36 X-ray or your
Radiation.
radiation. And at the same time, I was doing chemo once a week. And it would last between 4 to 5 hours. So they were treating it pretty aggressively, but they spread it over enough time that it didn't make me as sick as people think it does. So, and they adjusted if you have trouble until we got into a good routine. I did have a little trouble to get started. Because you have to drink lots of fluid and you have to continuously eat. They said they don't want you to lose weight. I guess it affects the medicine, how they can, and drink lots of fluid. So
you basically did both radiation and
chemo all at
the
same
time.
Yes, and I guess a lot of times they don't do that but as I said, I was feeling good until, I was in good health, so we got along.
I remember that's about the time I came when you were going through the treatment.
I was at the tail end of it.
That was the tail end.
Yes.
How long would you say that whole process took? The treatment from the time you knew up to?
Almost a year.
Almost a year.
Isn't it, Gina?
Yeah.
Maybe.
August 26th was your first treatment.
Okay.
And
that's of 18?
Yes, of 18, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And
into almost the same time, 2019.
Yeah. Maybe we might have finished in May.
I think so.
Yeah.
So not quite.
So after so I think you mentioned something important. I don't want to miss that. Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid of it.
Yeah.
Because everybody is so careful. They'll call you if you, and they'll check up on you, and your family is. Don't be afraid to tell people because everybody helps.
That's right.
It really does.
And you are surrounded by family.
Yes, I have a wonderful family.
Your husband, your son, your daughters, your grandkids.
Grandkids. They all took turns and helped.
Yeah.
Yes. Wonderful daughter-in-law.
Going for the treatment and back.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you mentioned daughter-in-law. I almost didn't mention it when she's taking the video. I think we want to talk about what did that do to you spiritually?
Well, it brought me closer because my whole church family helped too. They brought food, just anything that would help. If we needed to go to if the family couldn't, somebody else would have taken me. It just, the whole town is behind you if you let them. You gotta let them know.
So then after you have finished the treatment, then you have to go for
follow-ups.
Follow-ups.
Yes. I am in my 6 months now.
Okay.
They said they follow up for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so it started off every 3 months. I'd go in for blood work and a scan.
Okay.
And then that was the first year. And then now I'm into the second year and I'm going every 6 months. So everything looks good. And
How do you feel now?
Oh, I feel wonderful. And everything tastes so good.
Awesome. I like the tasting part of it. Have you had anything, pointers to side effects or anything of the sort?
There are side effects to some of the chemo.
Yeah.
Like the bottom of my feet still burn from some of the chemo.
Yeah.
But I take medicine and that helps with it.
It helps. Okay.
Yes. Your fingernails grow a long time, very well while you're, and my allergies got better while I was taking some of my chemo.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
That was a good
Yeah, that was a very good one.
I think everybody would want that.
Yes. But, I'm trying to think. Oh, I lost all my hair.
Yeah. Okay.
But I thought, it was very important to have hair.
Yeah.
But
then you realize it was important to have the life
yes,
and the health.
yes. And as you see,
Yeah.
my hair came
You
back.
got it back. Now I want to come to the part where you will talk looking at the camera and telling the world, what advice do you give to those who even those who haven't yet even learned about breast cancer and those who just learned that they have it? What advice would you give them?
Well, to the ones that haven't or don't have and have never had or never done a breast exam, you need to learn how and do it once a month, once a week. I'm not sure how fast, but you need to do it at least once a month and be very vigilant about it and do your yearly checkups. That is absolutely, the earlier you can discover it. Never think you're too busy.
Yeah.
Your life is just as important as everything else. So always do it. And don't be afraid. The world will help. I mean, I'm very lucky.
Yeah.
I live in a small community and everybody helps everybody. So, and a good family helps.
And for those who just discovered they have breast cancer,
There is an end to it. And don't be afraid to tell them, okay, I really felt nausea, or I really am so tired. Tired is one of your main things. Just go lay down and sleep. Even if the family's all there, go back to bed and lay down.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll understand.
Yeah.
And if they don't, then they're not a very nice family. And it's don't be afraid of it. Talk about it and there is all kinds of help. That you have a nutritionist that'll talk to you. You have a psychiatrist that'll talk to you and answer any of the questions.
Yeah.
There's the doctor will come in and answer, and just like you've never had, or they don't have any other patients, they will talk to you and they'll tell the story over or everything again. If you bring in a different daughter or a different, member,
They want them to understand.
Yes, they want you to understand, and there is an end in the long tunnel. But just be very, very vigilant and do your exams.
What about Victory in the Valley?
Oh yes, there is an agency I think it's all volunteer, isn't it? that helps, and it's Victory in the Valley, and they will provide you with a wig,
Okay.
all the, I think 3 or 4 different hats,
Yeah.
and they have all kinds of support groups that they will hook you up with, and they have them there, and they have, they organize different, I think, fundraisers to help with it, but they are there strictly to help you.
Yeah.
And
I like the idea of having support group and
yes, they do.
you know, social safety nets that kind of give you the moral support
Yes.
and spiritual support. Like you said, the church was right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I really appreciate you coming. I know this is right in the middle of the week, and you are a busy person, but we have taken your time. We believe it's important to share to our community, our
Yes.
church, to the world, what this journey looks like. And you have been through that journey, and you continue to reflect on it. And thank you for sharing it with us.
Well, thank you for asking, and I hope I can. And if anybody needs a question, I will answer anybody's
That's
question.
the important part. She learned from others, got help from others, and she's willing to give the same help
Yes.
to those who are also carrying many questions. They need answers. And there's one more person who is not in the video, Gina Bender, and we want to appreciate you for helping us put this together. Thank you very much, Sherry Bender, and may God bless you
Well, thank
for
you.
all that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.